Imagine a political earthquake shaking up not just the ballot boxes, but the glittering lights of Hollywood, where stars trade scripts for speeches and directors dream of directing change. That's the buzz surrounding Zohran Mamdani's stunning victory in New York's mayoral race, alongside other Democratic triumphs on Tuesday, signaling a bold new chapter for liberal voices in entertainment. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this be the spark that unites Hollywood's divided left? Or will it ignite fresh debates over ideology and influence? Let's dive in and unpack what these wins mean for Tinseltown, breaking it down step by step for everyone to follow. First, picture this quirky scene. In Kentucky, far from the Big Apple, the Secretary of State had to tweet out a reminder that folks couldn't cast votes for New York's mayor because, well, there were no elections happening that day in the bluegrass state. It was a hilarious mix-up that underscored just how far Mamdani's story had rippled across the nation. With nearly all votes counted on Tuesday evening, the Democrat held a commanding lead of 9 percentage points, marking a decisive first major Democratic win in the era of Trump's second term. And Hollywood, it felt the aftershocks loud and clear, stirring up conversations about unity in the face of division. Hollywood's progressive heart has long been split on whether a democratic socialist like Mamdani should front the resistance against Trump. His win might just bridge some of those gaps, or deepen them. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about one race. The governor's contest in the booming production hub of New Jersey and California's Proposition 50, pitched as a counter to Trump's influence, have also grabbed headlines in the entertainment world. Here's our friendly breakdown of these three pivotal races, as results rolled in on Tuesday night. Starting in New York, Zohran Mamdani burst onto the scene earlier this year, soaring to the top of the Democratic mayoral primaries just weeks before the June vote. He clinched the primary using ranked choice voting, a system where voters rank candidates in order of preference, like choosing your top picks in a friend group, ensuring more fair outcomes, and kept his momentum going strong. For beginners, think of it as a more inclusive voting method that prevents vote splitting, unlike traditional first-past-the-post, where the winner might not have majority support. Even with high-profile drama, like former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Eric Adams jumping in and Adams dropping out, Mamdani stayed steady at the lead. This 34-year-old Queens Assemblyman, whose mum is the acclaimed director Mira Nair behind films like Monsoon Wedding and The Namesake, built a powerful alliance of young Gen Z voters, Muslim and South Asian communities, and progressive Democrats. By Tuesday night, with 90% of votes in, he led Cuomo by 9 points, and major outlets declared him the winner, surpassing 50% in a three-way race against Republican Curtis Sliwa, hinting at strong public backing. Mamdani's Hollywood connection runs deep. His mum's film shaped his political views as detailed in a Hollywood Reporter piece, and his rise echoes those feel-good sports movies where the underdog triumphs. He cleverly blended social media magic with Hollywood flair. His team created viral TikToks filmed on New York streets and ads referencing shows like The Bachelor or Bollywood-inspired visuals. It all added up to a fresh, engaging campaign. Moreover, Mamdani modeled how to tackle Trump and online trolls, always smiling, staying focused on key issues like affordability, never veering off message. Contrast that with Trump's off-the-cuff style. Talk about a stark difference. Yet his victory reminds us that politics involves bigger forces. Trump's resurgence amid Democratic Party turmoil, the Gaza conflict, and housing affordability woes, fueled by market speculation, all boosted Mamdani in ways no single leader could engineer. In Hollywood circles, Mamdani's become a hero for outspoken celebs. Actors and activists like Spike Lee, Bowen Yang, Cynthia Nixon, Emily Ratajkowski, and Lupita Nyong'o endorse him. Ilana Glazer and Mark Ruffalo even helped with phone banking. These folks have backed progressive newcomers before, so the big question looming is whether more mainstream stars will join in. Hollywood adores winners after all, and this victory could sway fence-sitters or attract some opportunists. But here's the controversial twist. Mamdani's stance that Israel shouldn't exist as a majority Jewish state might alienate some celebrities who've been vocal on the issue. Plus, many stars have dialed back activism since Trump's first term due to burnout or strategy. Will Mamdani reignite their passion? Ultimately, his success as mayor will determine if Hollywood fully embraces him. After all, Tinseltown loves a charismatic leader even more than a victorious candidate. Shifting to California, Proposition 50, which aims to redraw congressional district lines mid-decade and potentially slash Republican seats from 9 to as low as 4, looked poised for success as Tuesday wound down. For those new to this, gerrymandering is when politicians redraw maps to favour their party, like stacking the deck in a game to ensure one side wins more hands. California voters have mixed feelings about Prop 50. They created an independent commission for fair maps 15 years ago, but see it as necessary to fight GOP gerrymandering in states like Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina. This measure lets elected officials redraw the map once to balance things out. Governor Gavin Newsom has bet his future on it, eyeing a presidential bid where a loss could derail his ambitions. Drama peaked in September when Arnold Schwarzenegger, the last Republican governor, opposed it publicly. Yet a star-studded ad featuring Barack Obama, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Chris Murphy flooded the airwaves during the World Series, rallying support. Celebrity voices were subdued, though Billie Eilish urged a yes on Instagram, sparking backlash from James Woods and Spencer Pratt, who called her out. Even billionaire Rick Caruso, a former mayoral hopeful whose float parties backed Prop 50 ahead of his own gubernatorial run. Schwarzenegger stood almost alone, backed by Republican donor Charles Munger Jr.'s $30 million anti-campaign. But opposition fizzled, as strategist Steve Kaplan explained. In a state where Trump polls at just 26% approval, it's tough to argue against something framed as countering him. This is basically a referendum on Donald Trump, Kaplan noted, and good governance arguments just don't cut through in this climate. Now, over in New Jersey, the state boasts a top-notch film tax incentive program, drawing huge Hollywood investments lately. Governor Phil Murphy, who championed this boom, is stepping down after 8 years. Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat Mickey Sherrill battled it out, with Sherrill, a congresswoman, ex-prosecutor and naval officer, winning by over 12 points, with most votes in. News outlets called it for her, a clear victory against her Trump-endorsed rival. Not far south, Democrat Abigail Spanberger mirrored that success in Virginia's governor race. Murphy's team, including NJEDA CEO Tim Sullivan, who's also departing, leaves a legacy. Sullivan, a former investment banker, steered the incentives, offering up to 40% tax credits for qualifying productions. Thanks to them, Netflix is transforming Fort Monmouth into an $848 million studio, as THR covered in May. And Paramount just anchored Bayonne's vast 1888 campus. New Jersey's perks lure projects with NYC vibes at lower costs, ranking it 4th in US production spending this year, behind California, New York, and Georgia. Industry insiders expect Sherrill to keep incentives strong, though new leaders bring new ideas. No major Hollywood endorsements surfaced, perhaps to stay neutral in a tight race. Screen Alliance of New Jersey President Nick Day shared that both candidates pledged to uphold the program, recognizing film as a key economic driver for jobs. As we wrap this up, these wins highlight a shifting landscape for liberal Hollywood. But what do you think? Is Mamdani's victory a unifying force, or does his stance on Israel risk dividing supporters further? Should Prop 50's map redrawing be seen as fair play, or just another form of political maneuvering? And will New Jersey's new guard build on its film boom, or pivot in unexpected ways? Share your takes in the comments. Do you agree these races signal a Hollywood revival, or are they just surface ripples in deeper divides? We'd love to hear your thoughts.